Quite impressed with the quality of this house in Astra. Have you guys heard about it?
Small yet mighty. There's 4 fragrances, but they are all punch packers. They all pack a punch.
They pack a punch?
Yeah.
Do they smell great?
I think they smell lovely, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk about these 4 fragrances from In Astra coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian and I've got Joe here.
Hello.
We're doing another house overview video of 4 fragrances from indie niche house, very young house called In Astra. Started by 2 sisters, Bardelli sisters. The perfumer is one of the sisters, Sofia Bardelli, who I have heard about and heard or smelled the creations over at Electimuss London. So she's done several fragrances for Electimuss London, and now we've got their own brand In Astra, and very impressed with the quality of the fragrances.
For sure.
For a young house, they have some really amazing scents. Let's show them the bottles.
Yeah.
We've got ANTARES here, and the fragrances are all inspired by stars. And I'm not really into astrology. I used to be when I was young. I've forgotten everything about it. So the fragrances are all named after different stars, and we're going to start off with the first one, ANTARES.
I'm going to grab that one again. There you are.
So here's ANTARES.
There you are.
What do you think about ANTARES? Well, let's read the notes first. I think it smells great, but this is a woody amber fragrance with Frangipani, Tuberose, Sandalwood, amber, and pink pepper.
I initially got lots of tuberose and I got pepperiness as well. And it's really, really good. I don't usually go for white florals, but for a tuberose Frangipani mixture, this is a fantastic fragrance. I really, really like it.
What I got is tropical, but very breezy, not very hot. Although warmth does need to come out for those flowers to really kind of put off their scent. So I feel like it's breezy, but also warm at the same time. But super, super amazing. The Frangipani and tuberose combo is really great. Gives you kind of a white floral, yellow floral, tropical combo. And there's definitely a creaminess here as well. The sandalwood base note creaminess adds this really beautiful, very cozy layer. And then you've got amber and then some spice for the pink pepper. I think it's perfectly done.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to piggyback off what you said about breezy. Sometimes with these really big white floral fragrances, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming and it's like you're literally wearing the oil of a flower. This is not like that. I see what Sebastian is saying where he says breezy. It's not transparent necessarily, but it's, I also don't want to say it's thin because it's got substance and it's a beefy fragrance.
It's a beefy, hefty fragrance.
It's just not what you'd expect from a typical classic white floral where it's just overwhelming and overpowering white floral. It's just so well blended.
So well blended. The brand calls this a woody amber. I took the notes off of their website. I would call this a woody amber floral because it's very prominent with the floral notes. Lots of frangipani, lots of tuberose, but for sure, lots of amber and sandalwood as well. And that pink pepper is there to give you some spice. I think it's so good.
I can smell everything that's in the note breakdown. Which,
you can.
Yeah, which I like. And like nothing is like, I feel like they're not throwing in any filler notes.
No.
You know? Everything that they're listing is what's there, and I agree.
The notes are robust enough for it to, stand on their own, but you can smell each note individually, and they smell amazing. And the actual ingredients smell expensive as well.
Yeah, they smell, the fragrances do smell very expensive.
Yeah. Betelgeuse. So the next fragrance is Betelgeuse. I guess one of the stars out there. These are all named after stars, as I said earlier. The brand calls this a soft floral, once again created by Sofia Bardelli. It has iris, coffee absolute, osmanthus, coriander, and oakmoss. And what do you think about this one?
I am a fan of coffee in fragrances, and it gives I get a bit of like a snuggly, cozy feeling from coffee.
It's very cozy for me.
And I get this as well in this fragrance. And I think iris and coffee, I'll just say right now, I think iris and coffee go really, really well together. And
it was done once before with Guerlain.
Which one?
Iris Torrefi.
Oh, did that have coffee in it?
Yeah, that had coffee in it, but that one went more into that Dior Homme Intense direction.
Yeah.
This one does not.
I always got a bit of like a DHI or like a DHP vibe from Sonorefe or Torrefe? Torrefe, yeah. Go smell it. It's a great iris. But
this one's so different.
It is different. I agree. This one has more coffee, I think, and it also has more spice. But really, really aromatic as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. The contrast with this one is different. It's it doesn't have that creamy kind of iris orris butter kind of a consistency. It's more aromatic and more herbal kind of smelling rather than smelling like the butter. There's no butteriness in this, but it's powdery for sure. And the coffee kind of adds that kind of cozy factor that Joe was talking about.
Right.
But it's really nicely done. Iris has become a favorite note of mine, fragrance note, because of Diorum and Diorum Intense and Diorum Parfum. And here we've got a different take on it. It's more aromatic and spicy rather than buttery like a Diorum Intense.
You know what my introduction to Iris was?
What?
It was Iris Poudre from Frederick Mall.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my kind of like initial glimpse into Iris, and after that I just kind of fell in love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but I think the combo of Iris and coffee works really great together. It adds a bit of a gourmand layer, and even though, like I said, this one's not that buttery, it gives you that kind of snuggly, cozy kind of factor with coffee. And I'm addicted to coffee. I drink so much of it.
Turkish coffee?
Sometimes I get sick off of it, but
what's your go-to coffee?
Cappuccinos, espressos, macchiatos,
all that good stuff.
Yeah. The Betelgeuse is really delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fits the star, but once again, I don't really know much about astrology, so I can't really help you over there. But I think the fragrance itself is fabulous.
Maybe we should both become astronomers so we can review this house a bit better.
Okay.
No, really, really great fragrance with Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
The name threw me for a little bit of a loop, but I guess it is a star.
Yeah.
So,
Betelgeuse. So next up, we've got MISMAR.
There you are.
I don't know anything about this star.
Nor do I.
If you guys know about stars, do let us know.
Yeah.
But this is MISMAR. Another fabulous fragrance. This one's considered a soft amber fragrance. Once again, Sofia Bardelli is a perfumer. We've got notes of ginger, olibanum, cypress, juniper, ambergris for notes. And if you've noticed, the notes breakdown here are not really expansive like some other brands we've spoken about. But once again, we've got a really great fragrance here.
Yeah.
MISMAR is a really nice creation. And I do want to say, smelling these fragrances in Astra does remind me of some of the work that Sofia Bardelli has done over at Electimuss London.
Yeah.
She's got a certain signature that is recognizable between the two houses. Well, what do you think of this?
I get the olibanum a lot.
Yeah, you get the incensey olibanum note in this, and the cypress too.
Yeah, the cypress definitely does shine through a bit. But going back to what Sebastian was saying about not having too many notes, I mean, obviously the house is fairly new. They only have 4 fragrances, but they're proving through their work that they don't need an overabundance. They don't need to be over the top to actually get their point across, and they can make great fragrances in a bit of a minimalist way. Not that they're minimalistic fragrances, but minimalistic note breakdowns, obviously a minimalistic amount of fragrances, but all of them they're hitters. They're so good.
Yeah. This one does have a bit of an outdoorsy kind of a vibe with the cypress and juniper. Kind of an earthy aromatic edge with those notes. The ginger is not as strong for me. It's got a bit of zing and spice, but for me what really stands out is the olibanum against the cypress and juniper, whereas the ginger and the ambergris come in later.
Yeah.
And thankfully the ambergris is not overdosed. I recently smelled a fragrance with ambergris in it, and it was so sharp and metallic. I had to wash my hands. Literally had to. It was pretty off.
It was a scrubber.
It was pretty intense. And this one, the ambergris is just the right amount, and it was perfect. So MISMAR, I think, is also a winner.
Yeah, the ambergris is a nice little bed for the whole fragrance to sit on.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, and the weird thing is with that other fragrance with the ambergris, oh man, it was so metallic. Like it went so extremely metallic.
Yeah.
I mean, I could feel the sharpness in my nose. It was just so intense.
It can be a bit off-putting, for sure.
Yeah.
The note of ambergris.
It can be.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's soft and nice here. And this one, I feel like the styling soft amber. I don't know if it's really ambery or we're focusing on the ambergris, but I can see that what they're trying to accomplish by calling it a soft amber.
Yeah, I get a bit more green and smoky.
Yeah, I would think it's aromatic for me and woody.
Yeah. Great fragrance.
Yeah. And last but not least, we've got TISTAR, this one right here. This one's considered a soft floral. Again, Sofia Bardelli is a perfumer. We've got notes of balsam fir, eucalyptus leaves, lavender, cypriol, yuzu, musks, cade, peony, mint, rhubarb, aldehydes, and pink grapefruit. So they've got quite a few notes listed here for TISTAR. I do have to be honest, this one starts a bit boring. You have to wait for it to come alive. And once it comes alive, it becomes really, really super delicious and really awesome to wear. It does remind me a little bit of something like Dior Homme. It does have that kind of a reminder. And I don't know where that's coming from because there are no iris notes or things like that mentioned here. But really a wonderful offering. I don't have it ranked really high because I don't like the initial blast. It's a bit boring. You have to wait for it. But once again, really great offering from the house.
Yeah, I like lavender fragrances. I like lavender in fragrance. I like smelling lavender. I like cooking with lavender. And
you cook with lavender?
Oh, yeah. I make a lavender creme brulee. And sometimes, actually, not to go too deep, but when I'm going to bed, I'll heat up some milk over a stovetop and I'll put some lavender in it. And
really?
It's very calming.
I've had lavender ice cream and lavender with chocolate.
Lavender ice cream's great, yeah. But yeah, I enjoy lavender in fragrances. I get a bit of lavender in this. It's not a lavender bomb per se. Again, all these notes, they're blended really well, so nothing really takes center stage, in my opinion. But with this one, I do agree. Sebastian was saying that the opening is a little bit meh, but when it dries down, that's where the magic really does occur with this fragrance, and it becomes something special.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a really nice job. Just wish it was a little more exciting when it was when you first spray it. But I can't believe how great this house is. Definitely, if you guys can get your noses on the fragrances of in Astra, please do. I think they're really, really quality.
Really good.
And knowing that we've got several fragrances from Sofia Bardelli over at Electimuss. I mean, the first I heard was the name of the perfume, and I thought, oh, I remember that name. Where did I hear her name from? Then I looked it up, and then Electimuss London.
Yeah. She's done a whole lot for Electimuss.
She has done a whole lot, yeah. Okay, now time to rank the fragrances of In Astra. At number 4 for me is MISMAR. MISMAR, I had a hard time deciding what to do, and originally I had MISMAR at number 3, but I decided to switch it with TISTAR because TISTAR for me is got that whole Dior Homme thing happening for it. And even though it has a boring start, I think it has a great dry down, whereas with MISMAR, the dry down is a bit boring versus the initial blast of the fragrance. So we've got TISTAR at MISMAR at number 4.
MISMAR at number 4.
And what do you have?
MISMAR, TISTAR, they all kind of blend together.
MISMAR,
TISTAR. I have MISMAR as well. Totally just piggybacking off what Sebastian said. For me, if I'll take a tougher opening or a more boring opening. Sorry, I'll take a more boring opening over a more boring dry down with the fragrance, because the dry down is what you're really going to be experiencing throughout the day. That's going to be the main gist of the fragrance. It's going to be the main life of the fragrance. For me, TISTAR, for me, MISMAR did not deliver enough on the dry down. Although the Olibanum and the smoky aromaticness and the greenness of it was good, it fell a little short compared to TISTAR, which I also have at number 3, because TISTAR, the dry down, is quite fantastic.
I think we got the same list here.
Yeah, we do. Pretty sure.
So at number 3, TISTAR for me. I think I really like this one. I just wish it started a little better, but the fact that it has such a great dry down, powdery, sweet, spicy, a bit fruity, lightly fruity there. And the lavender's aromatic touches, it deserves the number 3 spot. But it was difficult, you know?
Yeah.
It's a great house. They have such great offerings.
Yeah. Definitely interchangeable between MISMAR and TISTAR for number 3.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so your number 3 is? TISTAR.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
All right, my number 2 is Betelgeuse. And the reason I put Betelgeuse at number 2 is because I felt like Antara deserved the number 1 spot. I felt like that was perfection for me. Even though originally I went in with Betelgeuse being my favorite, Betelgeuse is the Iris Coffee combo. I think Astara deserves the number 1 spot. But Betelgeuse is really, really nicely done. The combo of Iris and coffee together, I first experienced it with Guerlain's Iris Torrefi. There are 2 different fragrances, totally not buttery, creamy, but still very powdery and earthy and aromatic with all the different notes here. Spicy as well.
Yeah. For me, my number 2 had to be Antares. I think Antares was a fantastic white floral with that woodiness from the sandalwood. It wasn't pencil shavings. It was
creamy.
It was creamy. Yeah, it was a very creamy sandalwood, which was buffering the Frangipani and the Tuberose. It was really great. And it could totally be interchanged for my number one, which is Betelgeuse. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. But I think ANTARES was a fantastic white floral without the characteristics of a classic white floral. It was very modern and chic in its styling and its blending. And yeah, and Astra did a fantastic job. The Bardelli sisters, they killed it with that fragrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're picking
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse as your number one?
Mm-hmm.
And my number one is ANTARES. ANTARES was perfection for me.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Tropical yellow floral with the beautiful white floral tuberose. There's definitely a milkiness from the tuberose note, and we got that milky sandalwood as well. I think it was perfection.
Beautiful.
Totally deserves a number one spot.
Yeah, and like I said, could be interchanged. My number one has to be Betelgeuse, though. I think that, like Sebastian was saying, that iris coffee combo is just so good. And we're still in the winter months in San Francisco. Wherever you folks are, whenever you folks watch this, not too sure what season it'll be, but in those colder months, you just want to cuddle up and you want to have something cozy. And whenever I get that coffee around me, that coffee scent, it just reminds me of just coziness and wearing sweaters and just being at home in a very warm and inviting ambiance, and that's what I got from it. So
I'm choosing the breezy, warm, tropical locale
he's
with
done,
ANTARES.
He's done with the cold. He's ready for the summer.
Jump in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, do let us know. Put a comment down below, and let us know if you're already experienced the fragrances of Astra. We'd like to find out who's checked out the brand and who's sampled the fragrances. I know they're fairly new, and I don't even think they're selling here in the States, but I recently saw that they're selling at Javoy. So those of you that are in France or order from Javoy, you can order from there or probably directly from the brand's website. Thanks so much for watching. As I said, if you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.